Life is never calm. Storms are inevitable and each one tests the very core of your being. But what if I told you that you don't need to fight the storm to survive it? What if you could move through the chaos without being drenched by it, without losing your peace, without letting fear dominate you? The secret is not in controlling the storm, but in mastering yourself. The moment you align with your inner strength, every gust of wind becomes an opportunity, every downpour a teacher, and every challenge a path to clarity. Life is filled with storms, both visible and invisible, and every human being will face moments when chaos seems overwhelming. The winds of uncertainty and the downpour of challenges can shake even the strongest minds. Yet the true test is not in escaping the storm, but in how we stand within it. The first step is to cultivate stillness within. When your mind and heart are anchored in calmness, the external turmoil cannot drench your spirit. Inner quiet becomes your shield, a space where fear cannot dictate your actions or cloud your clarity. Fear will arise as it always does, but it is not your master. It is merely a signal, a reflection of unpreparedness or doubt. Observing fear without surrendering to it transforms it into guidance rather than oppression. Similarly, the past often lingers like heavy clouds threatening to rain upon your present. Letting go of past burdens is essential because holding on to them only intensifies the storm. What has already passed holds no control over your present, and when the mind releases its grip, the path forward becomes unobstructed. Focus entirely on the present moment, for this is where life unfolds. The storm exists only in the now. Dragging past mistakes or future anxieties into this moment multiplies its intensity. With clarity of intention, every action becomes precise, every choice free of hesitation. Confusion and doubt magnify the turbulence, while clear purpose cuts through it like sunlight through clouds. Confidence that emerges from self-awareness and inner alignment protects you more than any external force. It is not power wielded over the storm, but strength rooted within that allows you to move through it untouched. Resisting the storm only strengthens it, while flowing with it creates grace. When you learn to move with the currents of life rather than fight them, even the harshest challenges become manageable. Each difficulty carries a lesson if you are willing to perceive it. Every gust, every obstacle, every unexpected turn is an opportunity to grow, to deepen your understanding and to strengthen your presence. Courage is required not to dominate the storm, but to remain steady while it rages, keeping your heart calm and your mind sharp. Trust in the impermanence of the storm and in the light that follows every darkness. No storm lasts forever and every trial is temporary. The power to remain untouched lies in presence, awareness and unwavering trust in oneself. By standing firmly within your own inner light, you navigate life's storms with clarity and resilience. The winds may roar and the rains may fall, but when you have mastered your inner world, the external world cannot drench your spirit, and every challenge becomes a path toward strength and wisdom. Fear is one of the most natural responses a human being can experience, yet it is often misunderstood. It appears suddenly, gripping the mind and tightening the chest, making even small obstacles feel insurmountable. Most people react to fear as if it is a master to obey, allowing it to dictate decisions and limit possibilities. But fear itself is not your enemy, it is simply a signal. It tells you that something important is at stake, that your attention is required, or that you are about to cross a boundary that matters to you. Recognizing fear as information rather than a command changes the way you experience it entirely. When fear arises, the first step is observation. Watch it closely without judgment or resistance. Notice how it manifests in your body, in your thoughts and in your emotions. By simply observing fear, You create distance between yourself and the instinctive reactions it triggers. This distance is not weakness, it is awareness. Awareness allows you to understand the root of your fear and prevents it from controlling your choices. The moment you stop reacting blindly, fear begins to lose its power. Fear thrives when you feed it with doubt and imagination. It grows larger when you imagine the worst outcomes or replay past failures in your mind. By choosing to recognize fear, but refusing to serve it, you stop giving it the energy it needs to dominate you. Serving fear by overthinking, avoiding challenges, or surrendering to hesitation only strengthens its influence. By contrast, observing it without surrender, you transform fear into a tool for insight. It becomes a guide rather than a jailer, pointing you toward growth and preparedness instead of retreat. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the ability to stand fully present while fear exists. True mastery of fear comes from embracing it as part of your experience without letting it dictate your path. Every time you act in spite of fear, even in small steps, you weaken its hold. You build confidence, resilience and clarity, proving to yourself that fear can signal, but it cannot command. This practice gradually rewires the mind, teaching it that fear is informative, not authoritarian. Finally, when fear is recognized and not served, it loses its capacity to control your life. You begin to make decisions from a place of consciousness rather than reaction. You navigate challenges with steadiness, responding to reality instead of imagined threats. Fear becomes a companion, not a master, and in that shift, you find freedom. The energy that was once consumed by dread is now available for strength, creativity, and purposeful action. Fear, once tamed, becomes a teacher rather than a chain, guiding you toward greater presence and mastery. The past has a way of holding on even when we are ready to move forward. Memories, mistakes, and regrets can cling to the mind like heavy chains, making every step forward feel burdened. Every moment spent reliving what has already happened drains energy that could be used to shape the present. The past is not a prison, yet most people treat it as one. The moment you begin to see the past as something separate from who you are now, you create space to breathe, to act, and to live fully. Clinging to past failures or disappointments creates patterns in your mind that repeat themselves in the present. You carry assumptions, fears, and insecurities as if they were truths and they influence every decision. By holding on, you give power to events that no longer exist, allowing them to control your feelings and your actions. When you release the weight of what has gone, you reclaim your energy. You begin to act from possibility rather than limitation, and every choice becomes freer and more aligned with your true potential. The past cannot be changed, no matter how much you wish it could. Attempting to correct it or punish yourself for it only strengthens its hold. The true liberation comes from acknowledgement and release. Recognize what happened, understand its lessons, and let it go. Each time you allow the past to dictate your present, you step further away from the life you are capable of creating. To move forward without baggage is not denial, it is conscious empowerment. Every moment you remain attached to the past, you are giving it control over your emotions, your thoughts, and your destiny. But the present is alive, fluid, and waiting for your attention. By shedding old weight, you are able to fully engage with the now, responding to life with clarity rather than reaction. You are able to face challenges with openness instead of fear, to pursue opportunities with courage instead of hesitation. Releasing the past is not an act of forgetting, it is an act of reclaiming your power to choose. When the past no longer drags you down, life becomes lighter, sharper, and more expansive. You move through each moment with purpose, unblocked by old regrets, resentments, or fears. Freedom emerges not from circumstances but from your ability to let go. By relinquishing what has already been, you create a clear path for growth, joy and fulfillment. The past may have shaped you, but it does not have to define you, and in that release, you discover the true potential of your present and the promise of your future. The present is the only reality that truly exists. The past is gone and the future is yet to come, yet most people live trapped between what has already happened and what they fear might happen. Every thought of regret, worry or anticipation pulls attention away from what is right in front of them. When the mind is divided, even the simplest actions become heavy and clumsy. By focusing fully on the present, you reclaim your clarity, your energy and your capacity to act with purpose. Each moment becomes vivid, alive and rich with possibility. To live fully in the present requires awareness. It is not about ignoring responsibilities or future planning, it is about not letting imagined fears or past failures dominate your mind. When attention is fully in the now, decisions arise naturally and actions become effortless. The storm may rage outside, but your mind becomes a calm center, a space from which clarity and composure radiate. Focusing on the present transforms challenges into opportunities and chaos into a field for conscious action. Every distraction from the present is an invitation for suffering. Dwelling on what went wrong or what might go wrong multiplies tension and confusion. When the mind is anchored in the now, each movement and thought aligns with reality. The present is where life unfolds, where learning occurs and where growth becomes possible. To act fully from this place is to act with power, because there is no wasted energy on illusions or shadows of the past and future. Being present is not passive, it is intensely alive. It requires continuous awareness and a refusal to surrender to automatic thinking. When attention rests fully in the moment, every sensation, every decision and every action is heightened. You begin to see the storm as it is, not as your fear imagines it, and your responses become precise rather than reactive. The power of the present lies in its ability to allow you to move without being entangled in what cannot be controlled. Focusing fully on the present creates freedom. It clears the mind of unnecessary burdens and allows energy to flow unhindered. Each moment lived with awareness strengthens resilience, sharpens perception and deepens understanding. Life stops being a repetition of past regrets or future anxieties and becomes a series of conscious, empowered actions. The present is where mastery emerges, where true calm resides and where the storm loses its ability to disturb the soul. Confusion is one of the heaviest burdens a human mind can carry. When intentions are unclear, every action becomes hesitant, every decision slow and every step uncertain. The storm outside may be raging, but the storm within, created by doubt and indecision, can be far more destructive. Clarity is not merely a thought, it is a force that aligns your mind, heart and actions. When your intentions are sharp and precise, they cut through chaos, guiding you steadily through the turbulence of life. The mind thrives on purpose. Without it, distractions multiply and energy leaks into directions that lead nowhere. When you take the time to define your intentions, you set a course for yourself that no external disturbance can easily sway. Confusion grows when people act reactively, letting circumstances dictate their path. By choosing to act with clarity, every decision becomes a conscious step rather than a random response, and the storm outside has less power over your direction. Clarity of intention comes from knowing what truly matters. When you understand your goals and values deeply, nothing trivial can derail you. Noise, fear and chaos may surround you, but the mind anchored in purpose remains unshaken. Every challenge becomes measurable, every obstacle understandable, and every choice intentional. A clear intention allows you to navigate life with precision, turning difficulties into opportunities for growth instead of traps for frustration. Confusion often hides behind justifications and excuses. People convince themselves that uncertainty is unavoidable, that hesitation is caution, and that inaction is safety. But this only strengthens the storm inside. A defined intention removes ambiguity, replaces hesitation with confidence, and replaces fear with forward motion. When intentions are clear, action flows naturally, and energy is no longer wasted on wandering thoughts or second-guessing. Living with clear intentions does not mean ignoring flexibility, but it does mean refusing to drift aimlessly. Even in the most chaotic circumstances, clarity provides a compass. When the mind and heart are aligned with a defined purpose, challenges become manageable, distractions lose their hold, and every step forward carries strength and certainty. A clear intention transforms uncertainty into direction, and direction into freedom from the inner storm that so often paralyzes people. Confidence that comes from external validation or force is fragile. It depends on circumstances, on what others think, or on temporary achievements. When these external sources fail, the foundation collapses, leaving fear and doubt in their place. True confidence is not built on approval, rewards, or dominance. It emerges from a deep understanding of oneself, from alignment with your inner values and purpose, and from the unwavering recognition of your own potential. Inner confidence grows when you stop comparing yourself to others. The world is full of distractions, opinions, and judgments, and letting them dictate your self-worth is a path to weakness. Observing your own abilities, understanding your strengths, and acknowledging your limitations without judgment allows you to stand firmly in your own truth. Confidence born from within is quiet yet unshakable, not loud or dependent on recognition. Force can intimidate for a moment, but it cannot sustain presence or respect. People may yield outwardly, but the inner storm remains unresolved. Confidence that stems from inner strength does not need to impose itself on the world. It radiates naturally, influencing without coercion, and acts decisively without doubt. When your power comes from within, it is grounded, steady, and permanent. Every challenge you face becomes a measure of your inner confidence. When you rely on yourself rather than external validation, obstacles no longer intimidate you. Mistakes become lessons instead of reasons to despair. Your actions are guided by clarity and purpose rather than fear of judgment or failure. In this way, self-confidence becomes a force that carries you forward, unshaken by the opinions or pressures of the outside world. Inner confidence allows you to navigate life with freedom and resilience. You become the master of your choices, anchored in self-awareness rather than driven by circumstance. External chaos may swirl, storms may rise, but when confidence is cultivated from within, nothing can unbalance your core. The strength you find inside becomes your constant companion, your shield, and your guiding light, making every step forward purposeful, empowered, and unwavering. Resistance is the natural reaction of the mind when it encounters difficulty, but it is also the source of unnecessary struggle. The more you push against the storm, the stronger it seems to become. Every act of resistance consumes energy and clouds judgment, making obstacles feel larger and more threatening than they really are. By trying to dominate or control what cannot be controlled, you create turbulence within yourself that mirrors the chaos outside. Flowing with the storm requires a shift in perspective from opposition to alignment. To move with the storm does not mean surrendering or becoming passive. It means recognizing the currents of life and adjusting your movements to harmonize with them. Every gust, every obstacle And every unexpected turn is an invitation to respond with awareness instead of reaction. When you accept the reality of the storm, you gain clarity about which battles are worth fighting and which are better approached with flexibility. Flowing is not weakness, it is the expression of intelligence that knows how to preserve energy and focus on what truly matters. Flowing with the storm demands attentiveness to the present moment. You cannot adapt if your mind is caught in the past or projected into the future. Awareness allows you to sense the rhythm of events and act in ways that are effective rather than forced. By observing the storm without judgment, you learn when to step forward, when to retreat, and when to adjust your path. Each movement becomes deliberate, precise, and graceful, transforming potential chaos into a pathway of opportunity. When resistance is replaced by flow, challenges lose their power to overwhelm you. Turbulence exists, but it no longer dictates your state of mind or your ability to act. Obstacles become lessons, tests of adaptability, and opportunities for growth. Flowing allows you to conserve energy, maintain composure, and respond with intelligence. Life stops being a series of battles to be won and becomes a journey in which you move with purpose and clarity, even through the hardest conditions. Flowing with the storm ultimately reveals the strength within you. It teaches patience, resilience, and the art of graceful action. The storm outside remains, but it no longer disturbs the calm within. By moving with awareness rather than fighting blindly, you navigate challenges with skill, presence, and power. Every step taken in flow strengthens your ability to handle future storms, showing that mastery is not in control of the storm, but in the alignment of your mind, heart, and actions with the currents of life. Every challenge that arises in life carries a lesson, though it is often hidden beneath discomfort, fear, or resistance. When faced with difficulty, the first instinct is usually to avoid or escape it, but in doing so, the opportunity for learning is lost. Challenges are not random punishments, they are mirrors that reflect your strengths, weaknesses, and areas where growth is required. By seeing every difficulty as a teacher, you begin to transform obstacles into tools for self-discovery and empowerment. Challenges demand attention, and in that attention lies insight. Each struggle exposes assumptions you hold about yourself and the world, revealing patterns that may no longer serve you. Pain, failure, and confusion are not signs of weakness, but signals pointing to where your awareness must expand. Observing these signals without resistance allows you to extract wisdom from every situation. The storm becomes more than an external event, it becomes a guide to understanding yourself more deeply. Perception is key to learning from hardship. Two people may experience the same challenge, yet one is crushed while the other emerges stronger. The difference lies in how the situation is interpreted. When difficulty is seen as an opportunity to grow, to refine judgment, or to strengthen resilience, it ceases to be purely negative. Your experience becomes transformative rather than destructive, and every challenge contributes to the development of clarity, patience, and strength. The lessons embedded in challenges often arrive gradually and require reflection. Immediate discomfort may hide the knowledge within, but patience and observation reveal the truths over time. Every mistake carries a teaching, every failure a direction for correction, and every setback a chance to adapt. By staying attentive to what life presents, rather than resisting it, you cultivate the capacity to extract insight even from the harshest experiences. This is how storms stop being merely obstacles and become stepping stones for growth. Learning from every challenge strengthens the mind, steadies the heart, and expands perception. The ability to extract wisdom from difficulty builds resilience that no external protection can provide. Each storm navigated with awareness leaves you more prepared for the next, more confident in your ability to face uncertainty, and more skilled at turning adversity into advantage. Life ceases to be a series of setbacks and instead becomes a continuous path of conscious evolution, where every challenge contributes to the mastery of yourself and your circumstances. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. Uncertainty is one of life's greatest tests, and it can shake even the most confident individuals. When the winds of doubt and unpredictability threaten to push you off balance, standing firm is not easy. It requires an inner strength that does not depend on favorable conditions, external approval, or guaranteed outcomes. True courage is rooted in presence, awareness, and the deep understanding that fear and uncertainty are natural companions of life. In moments of uncertainty, the mind instinctively seeks safety and control. Every instinct may urge retreat, hesitation, or avoidance. Courage allows you to resist these impulses and remain steadfast. It is not recklessness or blind boldness, it is deliberate, conscious choice. By embracing uncertainty instead of running from it, you reclaim your power. Each step taken with awareness strengthens your resolve and builds the foundation for resilience that will carry you through future storms. Uncertainty exposes vulnerabilities, but it also reveals potential. The unknown challenges your assumptions, tests your capabilities, and invites innovation. When you maintain courage in these moments, you discover the depth of your own strength and resourcefulness. Every action taken in spite of fear and doubt reaffirms your ability to navigate life's unpredictability. This courage is cumulative. Each experience of standing firm in uncertainty adds layers of confidence and mastery. Storms are inevitable, and no matter how fierce they may seem, they are always temporary. Darkness may stretch for a while, and the weight of challenges may press heavily on the mind and heart, but light exists beyond every struggle. Trusting in that light is not wishful thinking, it is the recognition of a deeper order in life that persists regardless of chaos. When you place your focus on the light ahead, the storm loses its power to overwhelm you, and your steps become guided by awareness rather than fear. Holding faith in the light requires patience and perseverance. In the midst of confusion and adversity, it is easy to become disoriented, to lose hope, or to give in to despair. The act of trusting the unseen light strengthens the mind and anchors the spirit. Each moment spent focusing on the possibility of clarity, safety, and resolution builds resilience. It teaches that the end of the storm is not determined by its intensity, but by your ability to remain grounded and persistent through its duration. Crossing a storm without getting wet is not about avoiding difficulties, it is about mastering the self. When you move with awareness, when you remain rooted in your inner stillness, no external chaos can touch you. Your power is not in stopping the storm, it is in the depth of your presence, the clarity of your mind, and the courage of your heart. Walk steadily, breathe deeply, and remember the storm may rage, but your inner light remains untouched.